So today we talk with my roommate Laura. She is a graduated theater major, if that makes sense what I just said. We talk about how COVID has affected her when it comes to theater and auditions, and she talks about how she overcomes rejection and stays positive. Enjoy! What up, y'all? Welcome back to Mentally a Badass. My name is Justine, and today I have the person that I live with under the roof of where living happens. A person that I have known since 2016 at the most magical place on earth. The one who has been there for me when I would cry in a corner. We have my roommate / friend, Laura. Welcome to my podcast.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
Did you like my intro?
Oh, I did. That was very, very well said.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, we are going to be talking about theater and the crazy life in the theater world and the pandemic. Are you excited, Laura?
I'm excited. I mean, that was very theatrical. Like, I see what you did there. That was a wonderful performance right there.
Thank you so much. Okay, so watch people just like click out, be like, oh god, these girls are so annoying.
Oh my god.
All right, so we all know we are currently in a pandemic. We are. And it has not been fun, especially for people who are in theater. And if you are in theater listening to this, you can relate and you should totally follow this podcast. So, Laura has a story that she would like to tell us about her experience in the theater life and overcoming the things not working out. Laura, it is a badass. And she is going to tell us how she, goes through those feelings and, tells us everything that goes on in her head. So, Laura, I'm ready for your story.
All right, we're gonna get in my head there. We're gonna talk about.
That's what we do here. We get inside your head.
Get inside my head. Oh my god. We're gonna talk about some stuff, theater stuff, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so picture life in 2020 before it became 2020.
How was life back then? 2019. Remember those days?
Yeah, I remember those days. It's what they talk about in our history books.
It feels like back in the day.
Back in the good old days.
The good old days.
When we didn't have to wear masks everywhere we went.
Yes, and we have now we're definitely more focused. We should always have hand sanitizer.
Oh, yes, we should.
Always have hand sanitizer. And then we didn't have, okay, that's going to be a whole different story. Anyway, moving on with theater.
So before the toilet paper struggle, before the pandemic occurred and we all were stuck saving the world by staying on our couch.
Saving the world by staying on our couch.
I was in a show, and the show was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometime later, I got cast in my first professional show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have a BFA in musical theater, and obviously, performing in a professional show has always been the goal.
Yeah.
It's where the money comes in, and it's a wonderful opportunity, and it also opens the door to so many wonderful opportunities. And I knew other people in the show. They're wonderful, talented, professional folks. Loved working with them, and I was so excited, especially after the year 2020, staying on the couch, not doing anything. I recorded a cabaret inside our living room. That was fun. But yeah, I was so excited to get started on the show and my dreams coming true. The world was wide. You were there the day I found out. I was so happy, jumping up and down. I immediately called my parents, Ma, I did it. And the wine was out. It was all wonderful.
The wine was out. Yeah, I remember we were on a Zoom call with some people.
Wait, you were?
We were, remember? It was the first wine happy hour thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
I remember it because it was my first happy hour for One Hope.
I remember, yeah, it was a happy hour. That was the happiest of happy hours.
Right? Yeah, it was my first happy hour and it was your celebratory hour.
Like a life achievement checked off the list.
Yeah.
And I'm preparing for rehearsals to start, getting ready to know the cast and knowing more people in the show, learning the music. It was all so much fun. Then a few months later, this all happened at midnight, by the way. Don't know why I didn't just go to bed, but I was staying up like a badass.
Oh my god.
We have a Facebook group that all the actors and crew are in,
Mm-hmm.
and director posted that the show was no longer continuing, that the show was canceled. Now, the reasons, it was very understandable. You know, I think an investor backed out, but actually I don't really want to go into the details.
I thought it was, maybe these are two different shows, but I think there was one that it was going to be in person and I was going to go to it.
Yeah.
Was that the same one?
That was a different one.
Oh, wait, why did that one get canceled?
Well, that one also got canceled because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. Okay.
But, yeah. She said that, the director said that unfortunately we wouldn't be able to continue. This is all a very long post, and I remember feeling just shattered.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're in a really long relationship and then that relationship just ends, or not even a long relationship, just a relationship I felt like I was broken up with.
Really?
With this show.
Interesting.
That's how I felt. Like, everything was going so well.
Yeah.
In light of this pandemic, and then it just came crashing down.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like, it just blindsided you.
It really
I remember you telling me that, and I was just like, why? And then I don't know, I think you said you didn't know, or you knew because it was the investment thing?
Well, you and I were reading the message the director
posted. Oh, yes, I remember now.
Like, it was completely out of their control. It was completely out of the creative team's control.
Yeah.
But the reality was the show was just not happening. Like, all those doors I thought were going to open for me, they were closed.
Yeah, so that's definitely, like I feel like a lot of people in my audience can relate. Like, not just in theater, but just, like, in life overall, when something so good is happening and then just being, like, knocked down like that. And the reason I brought up the other one, I don't know if it was a different one, because this was, of course, out of your control with the pandemic. How I was, like, really excited to, like, see you at the thing, and then, like, it was canceled because of the pandemic, and I knew how excited you were about that. And then that happened too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I felt like so bad. Like, why does this stuff, like, keep happening to Laura? So that's definitely, like, what I want to talk about is, like basically just a topic of when bad stuff just keeps happening, but, you just got to keep, pushing through things like that.
Exactly. And I feel like I really need to clarify, this show that I'm talking about that was canceled, this happened during the pandemic. I was in a show before the pandemic as well.
Yeah.
But that obviously got canceled because Corona was spreading like wildfire.
Yeah.
And Disney World was closing. The whole world was closing. Right. And if you were a good person, you stayed at home fighting the war against coronavirus from your couch.
Yeah, and then I think this is the one that you went to, like, a lot of rehearsals and everything too.
Yes.
Yeah. And
having the time of my life.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we talked about how you felt. So tell me, like, what things you would do to, cope with that emotion feeling. Like you said, like, you feel like you got, like, broken up with.
Well, the first thing I feel like every girl does in that situation is call their mom. God bless my mother. I called her at midnight in Orlando time, and I'm from Nebraska, so this is like 11 p.m. Nebraska time, so not terribly
At least
late,
it wasn't like Paris and it was like 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning.
Oh God. I wish we were in Paris. Wouldn't that be a treat?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I called her just because they all had plans. My family had plans to come see me in this amazing show.
Yeah.
And now I had to tell them, unfortunately, it's not happening anymore. I'm crying because, my dreams were crushed to me, and just crying and getting all that stuff out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly just so I can sleep it off because, as I said, it was midnight and I still had a job to do
what I was doing. Wait, you talked to me that night.
Did I?
I don't know.
I might have talked to you before I got the news.
The news with the one with the investment one, I thought we spoke on a nighttime.
I think we did the next day.
Oh, yeah, it was probably the next day. I was probably, like, I don't know what I was doing at midnight. I know, plus I couldn't hear across, because I couldn't hear anything you were doing on the other side of the apartment.
Your room was pretty far away.
Yeah. Now it's not. Now I'm right by you.
We are right across the hall.
And you get to hear everything in my room. Me blasting my either ghetto, sad, or
Kardashians?
Yeah, I watch all the Kardashians.
I hear Kim or Courtney every now and then.
Gonna hear them again tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm obsessed with them. Yeah, it's really interesting. And also, we can, since our bedrooms, our like bathrooms, like right in between, be like here. Like for me, when I go into the shower, I play like some type of like rock music or whatever, and then I hear you play like some Disney music, and we're just so different.
It is so different.
I just play some like ratchet music, and then you play like Disney or a song that I never heard of that's probably somewhere in Broadway.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Broadway soundtracks. Hairspray has been.
I heard the Hairspray recently. I was jamming to that. I heard You Can't Stop the Beat, and I was like, yeah.
You can't stop the beat.
You can't stop the motion of the ocean on the sea and above, and you gotta stop. Yeah, I was in Hairspray in high school.
Ooh, which one were you? Tammy?
I was Tammy.
Oh my god, I love Tammy.
Yeah, I was like Tammy. Yeah. So I heard that one. I was like, yes, my jam. I was like jamming out in my room. Like, yeah, that's actually really good. Like shower music.
Inspires you.
You can't stop the motion of the ocean of the love, and you got stop. Yeah. Okay, that's my little debut. Okay, so let's talk about. So you got all those motions out, girl. You got it all out.
Yes, you gotta let it out. Otherwise, you can't move on. You gotta let it out first.
Yeah. So how did you move on?
Well, by moving on, I just had to pick myself up and be like, okay, that show is done. It's gone. It's now in the history books along with the pandemic. So now,
pandemic's not really in history just yet.
Oh, it will be. It will be in our grandkids' history books, and they're going to ask us what life was like during the pandemic, like we asked our grandparents what life was like in World War II.
Oh my god, I still can't believe we're living through this. I really cannot wait to see what these textbooks look like. They're gonna be like TikTok and like
they're all gonna be on iPads or something like that.
I mean, honestly, who knows? It's gonna be like iPad, like the 50th edition or something like that. It's gonna probably be just like a hologram.
Probably just a hologram. We gotta save the trees.
Oh my god, exactly. And it's gonna be showing. Oh my god, it's gonna be showing out the toilet paper little thing, and oh my god, and like the iced coffee little mixed thing that people with DIY, and like the coronavirus, like
all those memes and
all the memes.
I almost said Vines. Is Vines still a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Vine's dead.
It is dead.
Yeah, Vine's dead. Musical.ly's not TikTok. MySpace is dead. MySpace is still there. Like, MySpace is still a website.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, like, no one really talks about it.
I had MySpace for, like, 5 minutes, and then my cousin introduced me to Facebook, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, my God. I had MySpace, like, when I was in 3rd grade. Yeah.
Wait, MySpace is that old?
Yeah. So, MySpace came out... Oh, wait. Let me not... Okay. When did MySpace come out? 2003.
Damn.
Yeah, 2003. So when I was in 3rd grade, I was 9. So what is 9 plus... Wait, 5? Oh, wow, it probably did come out then. Maybe like, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, probably like 2004, 2005, I got a MySpace.
I was going to say, if I do math on this podcast, I'm going to...
Yeah.
I'm going to sound really stupid.
No, honestly, none of us can do simple math anymore, but that's why we have calculators.
I lost track on what we were supposed to be talking about.
I think it was a good conversation. So yeah, I had MySpace like when I was in 3rd grade, and I was like, I remember I would like hide it from my parents.
Were you not allowed to have MySpace?
I don't know, I never asked. But then again, like a 9-year-old on like the internet.
Sketch.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's probably like less sketchy now because it's a different world, but like being on MySpace was always seen like a bad thing to go on. And I remember when I had MySpace, my sister found my profile, and at the time I didn't have a picture. I think I just had my first name or whatever, and she like knew it was me. And I remember she like messaged me in the inbox. She was like, I told you no MySpace, and I just ignored her.
There you go, badass. Ignore.
And then I remember Facebook came in 2009. And people are like, oh, get Facebook, it's so much better. And I was like, it's kind of boring. Like in MySpace, you can choose, like, I can make it pink and purple and put some music. And Facebook was just like blue and white and just boring. I was like, it's only for old people. Now we're the old people.
Oh, and you could also only like pick 5 top friends or something that
was on
had.
MySpace. I think you could do up to 10.
Up to 10.
It was up to 10. You can choose. Yeah.
I feel bad if you were the popular kid in school and you had to pick only 10 friends to be in your top 10.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was 10. I remember how much drama that caused.
I know. It was full of drama.
Yeah, I remember like the first you can tell when someone was dating somebody when they had him as the number one friend.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was a dead giveaway.
I remember that. And I remember like if I was dating a guy and he put like his friend before me and I was number 2, I was like, how dare you? Yeah. I was like, okay. And you think about how much drama that caused too. Like why did MySpace think it was okay? I put my phone I put this computer on do not disturb, and I'm getting rudely interrupted.
This computer's being a badass too.
It's on brand. I did put do not disturb. What?
Apparently it doesn't care.
Rude. Oh, maybe I took it off before. That was weird. Oh well. So, okay. So trying to move back to what we were originally talking about.
Yes.
So you decided, like, fuck this. Is that what your thoughts were? You said you gotta move on.
Yeah, you gotta move on.
So, yeah, so you moved on and, you kept your head up, which is, like, really dope that you did that because, like, the amount of time, like, I felt like this stuff just kind of kept happening and I was like, man, this girl, like, she just, like, keeps just, like, for me, I would, like, drag it out for, like, a week or something like that just because that's how I am emotionally. But you didn't. You told me, you were like, oh, yeah, I know, it really sucked. And the next day, you're just like, okay. Hi, how's your day going? I'm like, and it happened to you, like I said, because, like I said, this stuff was out of your control. It just really sucked how this stuff kept happening to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, it sucks.
Yeah. So, moving forward, you just, like, audition for other things, and you got this cabaret thing, right?
Yeah, so it's been a long year in many more ways than one. I've still like keep auditioning for things, and naturally for every actor in the world of theater, I will say this, you are bound to get more no's than yeses. But the yeses you'll remember forever, and the yeses leave a huge impact on you, whether it's your career or just what you want to do in life as a hobby. Either way, it will leave a strong impact. And you really need to focus more on the yeses and the nos. And if you because you're bound to get more no's, like, don't let that stop you. Like, learn from them. Like, I've had auditions where they're just plain bad.
Yeah.
And, like, I came out knowing they were bad, and I'm like, okay, I accept defeat with grace. I walk out and just practice some more, pick more songs in your repertoire or more monologues if you're an actor, learn more dance moves and keep training if you're a dancer. Like, just keep going for it. If you believe you can do it, you can actually do it.
Yeah, so that's where I was. That makes sense. So the way you overcome rejection is just understanding that in your line of business. That's not the right word.
Like, it's a part of the job
of what you do, because you are, you graduate theater, like that's what you want to do career-wise. So you're in line of career path or whatever. You like understand that, like, it's gonna be no's, and that's just how it is. And, like, honestly, like, I can relate in the One Hope thing, because One Hope, it's just like, if you get no's, we're gonna celebrate it because it shows you're working business, and, like, that's what they teach us. Like, when you get a no, celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they teach us for becoming, like, a rejection and such. But that's a good way of thinking about it.
There's this one show. Sorry, is it alright if I tell this story?
No, you can't talk, Laura.
Okay.
I'm not keeping
well, now that I got your permission.
I'm not going to put that in there. Go on.
Okay. I was auditioning for The Sound of Music for this one theater company here in Florida. Now, my audition, it was over Zoom. I'll just say it. I kicked ass in that audition.
I wonder if I heard you. There was one that I remember hearing you do. I'm like, oh, she sounds great. Yeah. Okay, go on.
And the directors and career team were like, immediately, Laura, would you like to get called back for this show?
Yes, I remember that one.
And so I'm just, standing there and being like, well, sure, of course. That's why I auditioned, of course. So we were just chatting. They really loved the song. And then I got the email for the roles. I was called back immediately. And I did this little happy dance in the living room, jumping up and down, squealing, like, that sounded weird. But yeah, just so excited that I got called back.
Yeah.
And so the callbacks happen. I make it to the final round for the role of Sister Margareta. It's between me and, like, 2 other girls. And the callback went fabulously. Now, keep in mind, this happened during the pandemic, where shows with a big ensemble cast, like The Sound of Music, for example, because you got the nuns and the party guests and all these other roles, it was all cut down, very limited, because they couldn't have enough actors on stage because Corona. And I found out later that I didn't get the role, but I was still so freaking happy because I made it that far.
Yeah.
Like the final, it was between me and two other girls. So,
you know, it's so good. It's so different between me and you, but it's such a good thing that I need to learn from you. Is that, remember how I was like, I really wanted this job?
Yes.
And I made it to like pretty much the last round, and then they just like rejected me, and I was just crying myself to sleep, and like I wasn't crying myself to sleep. I actually cried during the day, not at sleep. But the way you thought of it, you're like, I made it this far. For me, I'm just like, oh my god, why me? I think, and I was like, I need to like change the way I think about things, and like I just think it just for me, it caught me, you know, like it caught me completely off guard. But I mean, it's all about attitude. That's what it sounds like.
It is all about attitude.
It's about attitude, and like I guess I just have a better attitude.
You'll get there.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, so after all the pain that Laura went through, she got a gig. You could tell the gig, Laura.
So the gig is called the Misfit Players of Orlando's The Great Movie Cabaret. Okay. And if you're wondering why it sounds like The Great Movie Ride, yes, I think the title is obviously inspired by The Great Movie Ride, but The Great Movie Cabaret is going to be this amazing show on the Misfit Players of Orlando's YouTube page. Yeah. And I was selected, and I'm going to be singing the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz.
That's cool. Yeah. And I know it premieres on Saturday, but you said it will stay on YouTube, right?
It will stay on YouTube, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'll put in the link in the description so people want to check it out.
Yeah, and I'll put a little sneak peek of it on my Instagram story on Saturday. Like, if you want to hear more, go to the YouTube page.
Awesome. So, question for you.
Yes.
How does that work since it's virtual?
So, I recorded the song in our living room. Like, I've been doing a lot of things lately in the living room. Either in the living room or out in our front porch under a hornet's nest. That was fun.
I really can't wait to see like how this looks, like the creativity with it being virtual.
I'm
excited for that. So, do you have like any auditions in the making or any upcoming?
A couple, yes. I have a couple of auditions coming up in the future, and I feel really good about them.
Nice. So, what is your biggest goal? I think I already know what it is, honestly.
To put it simply, just to make a living doing what I love.
And to be on Broadway.
That's what I
was going to say. I'm like, well, I feel like the biggest goal for a theater person is to be on Broadway.
Of course, that's everyone's dream, that's in theater, to be on Broadway or to be in the movies or to do a cruise line.
Would you ever, like, do film?
Absolutely.
You would? Nice.
Yeah, that sounds so fun. I would love to do film, voiceover.
Have you ever, is there any auditions in Orlando for film?
So,
kind of Orlando's not really like a film place,
it's more like theme parks
theater, and tourism. Yeah. It's not really film. But I wonder if I'm sure there's probably going to be something.
You know, a lot of TV shows, they do an episode where, this main family's going to Disney World, or this family's going to Universal.
Yeah, even if you can just be like an extra somewhere, at least you get your foot in the door, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Being an extra, I was an extra. Have you been an extra?
I haven't, but I have a couple of friends who live in New York who have.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So you definitely, you're still young, girl. Things are going to brighten up. I mean, they're already brightening up, so that's good. So the thing I like to end on is any last piece of advice that you would like to give my audience who can relate into your situation.
Just look on the bright side, basically. Yeah. There's a song from Spamalot, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
How does it go?
Always look on the bright side of life. I wish I knew the rest of the song. Jazz hands. Just always look on the bright side and believe in yourself that things really do get better if you work hard, stay true to your goals, and have fun doing it too. Like, directors love an actor that's having fun doing what they're doing, or a singer that's having the time of their life on stage doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and they can sense that, I guess, right? Yeah, they can sense
They
that.
can sense it and see it. Like,
Yeah.
they can see an actor or singer enjoying doing what they're doing, or really getting into the character and taking it seriously.
What would be your dream character? Like, or like dream play or show or whatever?
Okay, dream play. Les Miserables.
I've never seen that one.
It's so good.
Hey.
It's one of the first musicals I've seen, and it's so beautiful and phenomenal. Like, if you're a theater kid, you know what Les Mis is. So I'm not.
I know what it is. I just never saw it.
I would love to play either Fantine, Cosette, or Eponine, like any one of the three main ladies of Les Mis.
What do you think about Rent? Rent's my favorite. I love Rent.
Rent's a good show. I like Rent.
I love Rent. I always wanted to be in Rent, but they never had it in my high school. So I was in Hairspray, Into the Woods, and West Side Story.
Oh my god. I love Into the Woods, and I love all those musicals.
Yeah, they're good. I wish I did in my freshman year, but I had like no confidence freshman year. But yeah. All right, Laura.
Yes.
Lara. Gracias for being on the podcast.
De nada.
Of Mentally Badass.
It's an honor.
And everyone, I will be putting all of her links if you want to check her out performing and such. And stay tuned. I will be talking about the upcoming episode. And thanks for listening. All right, so next week we're going to be talking with Kristen about how you can have everything but still feel like you want to die. We are going to be talking about some triggering topics such as suicide and can be detailed. So if this is something that may trigger you, please don't listen. But if it doesn't, then enjoy.